So right now, some crazy news coming out. They talking about Canelo Alvarez and Jake Paul. Now, Jake Paul, we already know that he's somebody who's been trying to fight certain guys or pro fighters or whatever. And you know, looking at Canelo Alvarez, you'd be like, man, it's a fake fight. But I'm gonna tell you why this is very interesting right now. It's interesting because, you know, Canelo actually said he would be open to fighting that guy. This is the only reason why it's actually even taken seriously. That's the only reason why. Like, the boxing industry is actually clamoring around the fact that Jake Paul and Canelo could do something. I wouldn't say they're secretly pushing it, but they've been aiming for that to happen for a while now. They've been looking for that type of fight to happen. When the Ngannou and Tyson Fury thing happened, they looked at it like it was a negative, and afterwards, but before, they was interested in the fight. They want to see this fight bad. For some reason, man, the media with the Jake Paul and Canelo thing, they've been pushing for it. I know y'all seen me put out a lot of videos last year about Jake Paul and Canelo. I'm gonna show you a good one that a lot of people didn't pay attention to. Where is it at? Yeah, I had a video saying where, man, this is crazy. This is crazy. Seeing this now is crazy. Yeah, they gonna start to take what I say serious after this one. Now look at this. This was a members only video, which it was very important, no clickbait. Said Canelo would fight Jake Paul before he fights Benavidez or Morrell. Now Benavidez or Morrell just fought, what, 2 days ago? Just fought 2 days ago, less than 48 hours ago. Morrell and Benavidez fought. And 5 months ago, I put out a video saying what? Canelo would fight Jake Paul before he fights who? Benavidez and Morrell. And what's the news coming out right now? That Canelo would fight Jake Paul before he fights who? Man, look. When it comes to boxing, I do this. I know a lot of people think I just be up here talking or whatever. At the end of the day, the fact that the fight is even being talked about. Too many news outlets are reporting that Canelo and Jake Paul is fighting in May. Way too many news outlets. They have a lot of sources. A lot more than I have. So the fact that they're talking about it is not good. If you're someone who don't want to see it. I told y'all, man, I be telling the news early. Not saying that it's a guarantee or it's a home run, but the fact that it's being talked about is already where I was telling y'all that he'll fight him before Benavidez and Morrell. Nobody mentioned Canelo's name with Morrell or Benavidez since Saturday. I told people. And people will say, well, he got the Crawford fight that's already coming up. Good. That don't mean anything else, though. He was already talking about Berlanga before he had the Munguia fight signed and sealed. So I know what I'm talking about. Trust me. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, but I put this up 5 months ago. People think I just be posting. They be like, "What is he talking about?" That's what I'm talking about. Another breaking news story again. Again. 5 months later, again. So this man talking about Canelo fighting Jake Paul. I can't believe they reporting this right now. That's lower standards than what I was realizing. I was like, man, maybe he just go ahead and do the skull thing. It's not gonna do much as far as popularity. You gotta realize right now, yeah, Canelo's a popular guy. Let me just say this. Canelo's a very popular guy, but if he goes out there and fights Jake Paul right now, and then goes and fights Terrence Crawford, his popularity is going to be at a whole nother level. Just because he's stepping in the ring with Jake Paul after the Mike Tyson thing. You know, a lot of people know who Jake Paul is. Like I told y'all, my nephew does not watch boxing, but he knows who Jake Paul is. Doesn't know who Canelo is. It's not a good look. So when people say, "Oh, he's the face of boxing," no. And to the younger generation, they don't think he is. So this would help him basically get every generation in front of him. You know what I'm saying? You can basically get all the Mike Tyson fans like that. You see, Mike Tyson has a lot of fans. It might be a lot of casuals, but it is what it is. At this point right now, people talking about popularity and pay-per-view sales. So popularity means a lot to people these days. It means everything when it comes to boxing, from what I've seen. So yeah, I'm not surprised that Canelo would entertain a fight like this before he get in the ring with Terrence Crawford. Everybody already said that Canelo's old and he's had 60 pro fights. They had like guys they had 300 amateur fights and other stuff. They talking about 60 pro fights. Yeah, guys in the 70s and 80s, they was fighting 15 rounds though. So Jake Paul and Canelo fighting is definitely something that can happen. I know this personally. Once Canelo says that's a fight he would like down the line or at a certain point, there's nothing nobody else can say, me or anybody else. Can't deny anything once Canelo says it. He's running boxing right now. But yeah, if the fight happens, nobody's gonna question it. A lot of people was asking about this fight. Like after Jake Paul fought Mike Tyson, the name that came up the most was Canelo Alvarez. I didn't see no other names. You know, a lot of people won't like it if it does happen. They'll look at it as a weird situation, especially if he has a Terrence Crawford fight coming up. But you know, if he doesn't want to go through too much damage before the fight, maybe he just goes through with it. Like I said, popularity does mean a lot these days. Probably not just to Canelo, as far as everybody around. But yeah, the rumors of this fight is definitely getting big. But Canelo had already said something about the fight though. But he said when he was done boxing, he'll think about it. He said, when I'm done competing at the top, I think it is good because what happens there is other people who never watch boxing or they don't know anything about boxing. I'm going to go ahead and say that before I leave up out of here. That's what part I was thinking about right there. Canelo said, yeah, when I'm competing at the top, No, they said, would I fight Jake Paul when I'm done boxing? Why not? Maybe I'll do it. He said, yeah, when I'm done competing at the top, I think it is good because what happens is there is other people. This is what Canelo said. He just said everything I've said the last 30 minutes. I think it is good because what happens is there are other people who never watch boxing or they don't know anything about boxing. They want to watch Jake Paul because he brings fans from another world, right? That's good because everybody gets to enjoy it. Maybe I'll fight Jake Paul in the future, maybe. Despite welcoming influencers over the world to the sport, Canelo Alvarez doesn't see them as true fighters. He says, as a fighter, I don't know, because being a fighter is different. Blah, 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 blah. Did you hear what he said, though? Canelo Alvarez just came out and said, yeah, because he brings fans from the other worlds, another world. So he's letting you know that right now, hey, Jake Paul bringing in different kind of fans that I wouldn't get. Fighting Terrence Crawford or Benavidez. He got different kind of fans. You got to think about it. Canelo thinking about business. People will think, nah, he thinking about something else. He just told you he's thinking about business. I'm reading. So Canelo wants to use Jake Paul. Hold on, I think my Canelo wants to use Jake Paul. Hold on, I think my connection is being bothered with right now. Give me a second. But what I think Canelo was explaining is there's a lot of people that don't know who he is, and he wants to use Jake Paul as kind of that ladder to get more fans. Because at this point in Canelo's career, he's trying to figure out, how did Floyd bring in the fans? How did Mike Tyson bring in the fans? Or how did they get these fan bases? And he's trying to figure out, did they get certain names that made them bigger? So right now he's looking at Jake Paul as somebody whose name is big enough to get him through the door. As far as being a guy who's going to be, maybe if he beats a Jake Paul, he gets 1 million pay-per-views every fight. Automatic, 1 million. Maybe a win over Jake Paul does that for you. Because it's a lot of people that don't know boxers or Canelo from what I've seen. And Canelo's kind of admitted that it's a lot of people that don't know who he is. You know, everybody doesn't watch boxing. You know, like you said, it's a lot of people that don't know who he is, so he definitely wants to tap into that other world, and he said he brings fans from another world. That's good because everybody gets to enjoy it. He wants to see everybody, he basically wants everybody to see him fight. More fans. Makes a lot of sense. I told people this was going to happen, though. I told people this was very real. Because Canelo doesn't have a lot of options as far as fights, man. People got to understand that. We just seen Diego Pacheco recently. You got a couple of other guys. Morrell ain't an option, so that was a sign already to me that it was going to be a stretch for that fight to happen with him and Canelo. That's why I said even with him going 12 rounds with Benavidez, that didn't help. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it gotta happen, man. You said legacy only does so much. I mean, at the end of the day, though, it's a lot of guys who get rich in sports, but they always want to come back to the sport, though. You don't want to be that guy that comes back to fights and get booed, and you always want to show up. You know, because at the end of the day, you fight for legacy. Yeah, you fight for money, but you can't be a guy who says, yeah, man, I don't want to be like Floyd, who just, You know, they criticize the way Floyd is about money. So no, I can never let that slide. With me being a Floyd Mayweather fan, people always complain about Floyd, certain ways he moved with money. But then these days they want to talk about generational wealth and everything. That's never been a talk in sports, especially boxing, before a certain point. I mean, all these guys gonna get paid. That's their job. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't go out of my way to make sure these dudes is getting paid. They paying certain people to do that. My job as a fan is to request the best fight. You know, my job is to support him on Saturday when they putting on a fight that, you know, we already support these guys on certain fights with people we don't even know. A lot of guys they fought ain't fighting no more. You know, we've already supported these guys enough in boxing. We've supported these guys so much, they starting to charge $100 for pay-per-views. He said Netflix. I don't know if Netflix gonna do this one. If this one happened, it's probably gonna be with Turkey on the Sheet. But I don't know if Netflix gonna get this one. It's a good chance, but they would have already said something about Netflix doing that. Netflix wasn't doing that because of Jake Paul. They was doing that because of Mike Tyson was on there. They would have been did a fight with Jake Paul if he had one big enough, but they only did that because of Mike Tyson. Yeah, that was the only reason that fight happened. But shoot, Floyd and Conor McGregor fought. People didn't think that fight was gonna happen. So right now, Canelo feels like he's at a Conor McGregor point in his career, I guess. You can say that. We don't know if it's for sure yet. It might get pushed back. Me knowing Canelo, it could probably happen next May or something. Who knows? But for it to be talked about like this, I told people recently, you got to realize too, I was talking about this probably 2 or 3 days ago. I said, hey, don't be surprised Jake Paul and Canelo get made very soon. I said this 2 or 3 days ago. People have to realize we've spent all these years building these guys up, and now it's time to cash in. There's no more time that we can use pushing back fights. We got to realize we are already behind because of the pandemic. 2020, 2021, 2022. The only person that had a big fight around the time was Mike Tyson. Joshua and Usyk was kind of like pushed back a little bit. Wilder and Fury had their fights, but that was about it. And then Jake Paul was getting his fights and getting promoted around that time. The only person that benefited from all that was Jake Paul. That's when you had the Triller fights and Snoop Dogg and everybody. And Oscar on the, when they was commentating. But yeah, this is a real deal right here. This is definitely the real deal. Don't know if it's official yet, but this fight gonna happen. The fact that they're talking about it right now, like I said, people got to realize I was doing lives around the time this year telling people that Jake Paul and Canelo is very real. Before Benavidez and Morrell, that's how real it is. That man wasn't finna think about fighting Benavidez right now. They talking about he had to be nice to ask for a fight. Nah, you ain't gotta be nice. You just gotta be in a certain position. And you got to be vulnerable or show a weakness, some kind of weakness. But yeah, this is a good one right here as far as Canelo actually throwing that thought out there. Yeah, because I knew he was going to chase this fight. It doesn't make sense not to. And you got to realize he could have been told the media, hey, man, quit asking me about that guy. He ain't no real fighter. Now, mind you, Canelo will sit up here and say all this other stuff about all these other fighters. He said a lot of things about other fighters. A lot of them. He said a lot of things recently. I'm gonna play one of them right now. My volume messed up, but I'm playing one of them right now.
Please, don't disrespect myself. Please, guys. No more question because I'm a little mad and I'm tired. Thank you. I represent Mexico, but I don't care. I fight anybody, and I fight all my entire life anybody. What do you think? I don't want to fight with one Mexico or Benavides. But look, I hear his dad talking a lot of shit.
Yeah, Netflix ate off that Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. They ain't good, man. People got to realize Netflix has millions and millions and millions of subscribers. And we know it be millions of people on there watching movies at the same time. They talking about it was 60 million people. If you got about 60 million people on your app, you telling me around the holidays, everybody ain't watching movies or using the app at the same time? And then the app crashes. So Netflix trying to put on NBA games and NFL games, but they crashed during a Mike Tyson fight. So how many people you think gonna be on there when the NBA games and stuff is on there? So yeah, man, they had way more people on there than that. They made a bag off of that. That's why that little $20 million they gave Mike Tyson, that wasn't nothing. That was tax money. That probably wasn't even tax money. Yeah, they made a bag off of it. That's why Netflix got into it. They knew Mike Tyson was gonna be able to bring the money back, but they don't trust Jake Paul though. They done seen the numbers already. Mike Tyson just bringing in the numbers just a little bit better than Jake Paul right now. He's guaranteed to be in the millions. Jake Paul, he's not guaranteed. But this is a fight that'll blow up Canelo and Jake Paul. Maybe Canelo carried Jake Paul. He said he carried Munguia. According to Canelo, he said he carried Munguia. So maybe he carries Jake Paul, 9 or 10 rounds, make him seem like he's a real boxer. Get a big old fan base. You know, Canelo be the biggest. He'll be the biggest fighter alive after that. Go out there and stop Jake Paul. He'll be the first to stop Jake Paul. So yeah, it sounds like a joke, but this is where we at right now. I've been trying to tell people. I know people listening right now, like, bro, this sounds like such a joke. This dude talking about Jake Paul and Canelo. Bro, I've been trying to tell y'all this is where this dude has carried boxing to. I've been trying to tell y'all this. I don't think y'all understood that. I don't think y'all understood. I've been saying that lately. I said when Floyd did it, you know, he was towards the end. When McGregor, these guys is doing it in the middle of their career, like smack dab in the middle. That's why it's different for me. I'm kind of like, very different. Am I surprised? No, because Canelo can benefit from a Jake Paul fight. I'm telling y'all, he's missing that extra push. He's missing that extra push. If Canelo had like a Mayweather type of fight in this generation, yeah, he'll be huge right now. But he doesn't have a Benavidez or nothing like that. So the next closest thing he can get, Terrence Crawford and Jake Paul. Maybe the William Skull thing gets pushed back, and you like, man, I'll make William Skull wait. Let me get super popular real quick before I fight Terrence Crawford. That way, when I go into that fight, everybody know who I am. I'll be the most popular guy in boxing who just fought Jake Paul. Then I can turn around and possibly fight William Skull. I can get the schedule I had last year when I was talking about fighting in December. I can end up fighting him again this year. I can fight 3 times this year. So yeah, Canelo in the perfect spot. But this is gonna be a very, very good fight, man. As far as the build up and just the atmosphere, all the Mexican fans that's gonna be tuning in, it's gonna be unreal. Because he's still fighting Terrence Crawford. It ain't like that fight's not gonna happen. So the reason why it could be possible is people already know he's fighting Crawford. So this is a perfect time where he can be like, I'm fighting Jake Paul now. People saying, why you fighting Jake Paul? Well, you know I'm gonna fight Crawford in September. It ain't like, I don't got no big fight coming up. So I'm gonna just fight. Maybe that's the thing he starts doing now. Maybe he starts having certain fights in May. And then around September, he has a tough fight. And then maybe next May, he has some kind of fight like this. And then in September, he fights Pacheco or something. Because he don't got that many people to pick from at this point in his career. Because they ain't really demanding him like that. We down to Crawford, so maybe the last one is like a Pacheco next year. William Skull, Pacheco. Could happen. He said, bro, shut the fuck up. This will not happen. Bro, I reported Jake Paul and Mike Tyson last year. And your dumb ass was watching it. So relax. And bow down to the God. Because you the one who's watching Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. And I was the first one to report that. So sit back and relax. And find out who you talking to. Did you watch Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson or not? Exactly. On Netflix. What you talking about? And that was the first boxing match on Netflix. So you don't know what you're talking about. Go back and watch play Roblox or something. You said you're Garbo? Yeah, okay. Let me get you up out of here, because like I said, don't explain to people in 2025. But yeah, like I was saying, these guys sitting up here watching Mike Tyson and Jake Paul just a couple of months ago talking about, this ain't real. Man, shut up. Quit showing your age, man. A lot of these guys showing their age these days, and they getting too old for this. It's time for the young guys to take over. Sorry. Want somebody to help you find your glasses. That's the new days now. You should have had Canelo fix boxing when you had the chance. Now this is the way boxing going. Told y'all what time it was. They mad because I ain't got the exact date it's gonna happen. It ain't my fault everybody reporting this. They reporting this. If you ain't seen me, look at when I said this. 5 months ago. I said Canelo will fight Jake Paul before he fight Benavidez or Morrell. You know what everybody thought? Man, he trolling, man. You that mad at Canelo? Oh, how am I mad at Canelo? Look at everybody who report boxing right now and go see how mad I am at Canelo. I said this 5 months ago. How am I mad? If they reporting it right now. So this came true. This another thing that came true. I told y'all. Another thing that came true. So if you want to be a member, definitely join. Because that's where the good news comes from. Definitely. I don't know. I should make all my news members only, just start over for 2025. Real talk. Because I got dudes like this tomorrow. You don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, let me go ahead else.